Hello everyone, welcome to my review of Transformers Legacy Evolution Twincast, the repaint of Transformers Legacy Blaster, which might actually be also part of the War for Cybertron trilogy, but I do not know, or at least remember. But that does not matter, but here we got Twincast, the repaint that Blaster I think Blaster got repainted into Twincast during the Generation 1 Japanese continuity cartoon. But I don't remember, however, he has a buddy and he seems to have disappeared because if we just hit this bad boy, boom, here we got his buddy right here. So let's get you off to the side so we can talk about Rewind first, baby. Technically the main reason why I bought this thing, but here we have Rewind in his cassette mood. And it's fully clear plastic. Why are you clear plastic? Why did they decide clear plastic was the way to go with these guys? Like, they even re-released Blaster during Studio Series and made it a point not to put this idiot in clear plastic. They made him out of normal plastic and it looks so much better, but no, they made it clear plastic for the original ones, which is just such a dumb move. But outside of that, he actually looks pretty cool right here. As you can see, a very nice looking guy. Like I said, wish he was just made out of plastic. Also, technically you're supposed to rotate the head around, but I didn't really care, so we're just gonna do that right now. Here you go. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. But there you go. It's just like that's a cassette mode, and these always look a little bit ridiculous. Dude, come on! If I rotate that around, you can see the head through the clear plastic. Come on, man. You're not even in disguise anymore. So no matter which way your head is, you're always gonna be just like viewable. Come on, man. That is so dumb. Anyway, but like I said, he looks fine as a cassette, so I guess we should just go straight into the size comparison for the cassette then. Here we got him next to Eject, I think actually is this fellow's name, but here we got Rewind and Eject together, finally! And I actually bought Twincast. It was a priority because I wanted this guy, because I have almost all of Blaster's buddies except for, you know, the one that comes with Perceptor. However, I was missing Rewind because they were not going to re-release that bad boy into Studio Series, because there's no way they can actually release this idiot into Studio Series. And also, I'm not going to use Steeljaw for this size comparison. That is going to be more for a Blaster-centric review, okay? Just so you know. But they look nice together, albeit a little bit clear. And I hate the fact that they have clear plastic. But anyway, let's get into the transformation then from good old Rewind. So what you want to do is you want to take the leg here and rotate it out. So fold this down, fold it down, rotate it around, rotate it around. And while this is clear plastic, it doesn't necessarily feel all that thin. So at least that is a bonus. You want to untap the arm and rotate it around. So undo it like so, and then rotate it around so that the big hole is on the side. And then come to the back, obviously part separator time in order to get the head out. As you saw earlier, rotate the head around. So yeah, here you go. Here we got Rewind in his robotic mode. And to be honest, he actually does look very nice as well. The nice gold here on the chest, the nice head right there. Still clear plastic, which kind of ruins the fact that he is supposed to be, you know, black in the shoulder, arms, and leg area and chest area. So I will say the clear plastic does ruin him a little bit, but overall he does look very nice, and at least he's not sold separately for like 15 bucks like a core class figure. At least he comes with, you know, someone in order to justify the price, because to be honest, those cassettes from Soundwave never justified their price in Studio Series. I like them, Frenzy and Rumble obviously, but they didn't justify the price. But outside of this, he has nothing. So here he is next to his, well, I guess the original version maybe, but still his brother, Eject himself, looking very nice together like this. And to be honest, I do like the blue with the clear plastic a lot more than the black with the clear plastic, because I think the blue just shines a little bit more. This is what they look like from the back. Looking very nice. But basically, it's just the same figure again, except for that this time it is repainted. I don't even think the head sculpt is different, even though it does look maybe a little bit different, but that may just be the paint, you know? So there you go. Now that we got this out of the way, we can bring Twincast back in. I almost called you Blaster, my friend. And also, I don't actually know how this is supposed to go, so I'm just gonna keep it on default mode, because like I said, I don't really know how this is supposed to work. But overall, he is a nice looking guy. Nice blue recreation of Blaster from the original Kingdom mold. You know, he's a nice looking guy. He also got a new head sculpt with a smile, which is something you don't really see every day. Look at that. He's got a wee smile. It is very different from Blaster's just neutral expression. So I do like the fact that they gave him a new head, at least a new smile thing, in order to differentiate him a little bit from Blaster. Very nice. And then obviously, you know, he is entirely clean, because this mold is actually really good. However, I just realized I have a never actually talked about this mold on the channel, because I never reviewed Blaster, because I don't get the Studio Series 1, and I haven't had time in order to be able to fit Blaster into the agenda. Maybe next year, you know, maybe next year I'll be able to just do a wee review of good old Blaster Man himself. But like I said, Twincast looks very nice. I like the yellow, plus the blue, plus the red hands as well. I'm a big fan of this. And then the white. To be honest, the white is probably my least favorite part of this thing, but it's not something that I hate. So yeah, anyway, let's get close here on the head sculpt. And it's a nice looking head sculpt, as I said, the smile right there. We also got the nice helmet thing that he has, plus the nice little ears. You got the nice chest here with the big Autobot symbol, and also this here as well. And then you got the nice legs here with some red on there. You got the nice big boom boxes, which if you don't like this look, you can obviously rotate it around in order to make it look like that, if you want to. But I think actually this is what it's supposed to look like for robot mode, and this is what it's supposed to look like for boom mode. And then he's got the nice feet as well. He's got the only really bits of kibble that he has are these pieces here on the side of his leg. But to be honest, this is just mainline figure, so I don't care. To be honest, I don't care. It's not a masterpiece or anything, so I will let that slide. But outside that, he doesn't really have much kibble overall, you know. He looks very nice, very blue from the back. He's so blue, Angry Joe must be fuming right now. Boys, he must be fuming. But overall, he looks very nice. And then for weapons, he actually does come with one. Move you out of the way, because it comes with a big gun. Look at this big gun. Okay, there you go, big gun. Look at big gun. Here you have big gun, looking very nice for big gun. Very nice, even got a scope on it, and you can also obviously hold it in either hand, like so, in order to be able to shoot the Decepticons, or mainly Soundwave, his nemesis. Well, actually, Sound Blaster should be your nemesis, because Soundwave is Blaster's nemesis, so it doesn't really work. So Sound Blaster, maybe that's why Blaster changed it to Twincast, because Soundwave basically took his name and made it a part of his own name by becoming Sound Blaster. So Blaster couldn't be Blaster anymore, so he became Twincast instead. Maybe that's what happened, but very nice with the gun and all that stuff, and obviously the cassette, which you can put in here, but that is more for, you know, the cassette mode. So let's get the gun out of here so that we can get into the next segment, which is the Poosability segment, boys. So his head can do a full rotation like so. I always grab my figures like this, so I automatically do this. But anyway, you also get some nice side to side, some up and down as well. The arms can rotate all the way out. You get a swivel here and the nice, okay, a nice elbow bend, and the hand can go in and does not have a rotation. Then his waist can rotate, and then his legs can go forward. Move this up, and then it can go backwards as well. And you got some in and out, some rotation here. You got a bend at the knee like so, and also you got some ankle tilt, and the toe can move up for transformation purposes specifically, because as you can see, the big gap there. So you have some nice articulation with this figure, and he also looks very nice. So then let's move then straight into the next segment, which is set comparison. Starting off, here he is, obviously. That's not what at all was supposed to happen. Here he is next to Blaster, boys. And to be honest, outside of the smirk that he has, basically the same figure. And to be honest, I like this figure. However, I have an issue with the Blaster that, to be honest, I have not checked out yet with my Twincast version. So we'll have to see that later on. Also, he is holding the thing that comes with Steel Jaw, because why not? I always just display figures like this on the shelf, because the fact it's easier to just display them like that. And yeah, you know what? It looks nice. Obviously, this thing is compatible with him as well, but that is more for the Blaster review, even though I just wanted to say Sound Blaster. And also, I think I already looked at that in the Steel Jaw review, which is already up on the channel, because the fact that figure came out, I think, last year, but I don't remember specifically. But let's get you out of here then, so that we can bring in some Japanese boys, baby. Starting off here, we have the other guy that fell over. We have Metal Hawk, obviously. But we can also bring in Galaxy Shuttle, baby. Yeah. So here we got him with some Japanese boys. Looking very nice with the Japanese boys. And somehow being the tallest of the three. That guy back there is a triple changer and a leader class price point. And still, Twincast is taller, or technically Blaster as well. Very nice, but still, they look nice together, so let's get them out of here for the popular ones. So here we have Twincast, I still wanted to call you Blaster, together with Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. Bumblebee looking very nice together with them. Big fan of the way that they look. So let's bring in my favorites then next up. So then here we got Iron Knight Sideswoman JS together with Twincast. That float actually pretty well. But he looks nice with them, even though I don't know how big Blaster is supposed to be, but to be honest, he was always kind of a big boy, so I don't necessarily mind it. But he looks nice with them, so let's get them out of here as well. Let's pull you in closer here, and let's get ready for that transformation. So then let's get Twincast transformed into his boombox mode, baby. So what you can start off with, you can take these panels here, rotate them around so that this is facing the front. Don't specifically have to do it, but you can. Then you can rotate this up in order to lock the ankle tilt into place, because now the ankle tilt doesn't really work anymore. Untap these side pieces here like so, and then come to the back and open up this piece here. Take this top piece here and rotate it out like so. Do the same thing on the other side, so just undo it and then doubly undo it like so. There you go. Now we got some openings. Rotate the legs so that they are facing each other, and now we wait because we gotta do the arms, but we can actually do a wee little waist rotation. Anyway, the arms, I hate these arms. God, I hate these arms. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to rotate these out. So take the fist here. Oh, this is not necessarily a fist, but still, pretend it's a fist. Rotate it out. Rotate the arm around, and then rotate this piece here around, like so. So rotate the arm around, and then rotate this piece here in order to be able to have something that looks like that. Also, don't forget to get rid of Headmaster Man. There you go. Head's gone, baby. Then what you want to do, fold this forward as well. And now we come to a difficult part. I hate doing this on Blaster, never done it on Twincast. So let's see how it goes, shall we? I'm kind of curious. So basically what you want to do is you want to get this tab here on the side of the leg into the slot here. And that can be a little bit challenging. So basically you will just want to line this whole thing up so that it can be tapped together. Like so. And then you want to take the fist here and put it in this big gaping hole. So you want to take this here and rotate it around. But doing this can be sometimes a little challenging. Did not happen this time around, thank you. But to be honest, it is not the hand with the finger sticking out. So that could be a little bit of a problem. Anyway, rotate this out and then just figure out a way to tap the bad boys together. Come on, there you go. And then you rotate this bad boy in, all the way in. Oh, that went way easier than on Blaster. That was good. Then what you want to do is you want to rotate this one first and then this one, because as you can see there's a little slot there that this tab here is going to slide into. So basically you want to take it and then push it together like so. And also there's two tabs here on the leg pieces that this piece here is going to tab into, kind of. There you go. And here we have Boomboxing Man himself, a little bit angled sadly enough, thanks to the fact that I tapped that in. But anyway, here we got him in his boomboxing mode. But we are not done yet, because just for good measure, let's do rewind as well, boys. So you want to basically take the arms, rotate them in so that that big gaping hole is facing you. Get out of the way. And then you want to rotate it in like so. Rotate it in like so. Also, you can rotate the head around, but I don't really care. So just push the head in. You can either rotate it around or not, but because of the clear plastic, it doesn't really matter. Then what you want to do is you want to rotate this out. Take only the ball joint here and rotate it around. And then you can rotate this fully around in order to encapsulate everything. So basically just make sure that this sits at the front and bam! There you go, Cassette Man himself. And then you can obviously just take it, plug it in here, close the bad boy up. And here we have Twincast in his boomboxing mood. So here we have Twincast in his boombox mood. And I am a fan of this. Look at how good this thing looks. I actually think it looks really good. I very much like this. Now normally I don't, but since I'm going for accuracy, I don't have a choice in the matter. Because this is a useless and also very much out of skill vehicle mode. Like, well, well, it's not even a vehicle. But like, what are you supposed to do with this? Like, someone just carries him around. I mean, I remember that scene in the first Transformers movie, the animated one from '86, where he transforms and just starts blasting, which is actually pretty fun. But overall, it's like, this is a thing that should be able to fit inside of the back of this idiot, if he even has a back, to be honest. It's a sports car. Back of this thing. There, you're supposed to open up the back and put this in, but how is this gonna go? How would this work? This does not work. Look at how big he is. That's why I've always kind of been against these kind of modes, but since it is accurate, I cannot complain at all. But still, like I said, he looks very nice. So let's get him in closer here so that we can look at the details. So starting off here, look at the nice details that we have here. We're just gonna go and look at the details here. We've got the volume button, what's a button? It's a button, not a button. A baton, boys. We got the batons here. But yeah, and I also don't know what the other one is. Like, this one kind of looks like a volume thing, but this one, I don't know what that is. Maybe it's the next song or something like that. And as you can see in here, bam, baby, we got rewind as well, but we don't necessarily need rewind anymore. Oh, come on, dude. There you go. We don't need rewind anymore for the video because the fact I looked at both of rewind's modes. So, here we go. Look at that. We even got these things in front of the speakers, and you got the sides here, the vents maybe for the air circulation, who's to say? Probably for the air circulation. And he looks actually pretty clean on the back, unlike that Soundwave figure that potentially gets a new version next year, but who's to say? I am not. But I like the details on here overall very much. So then let's ruin this thing, because we have a weapon, and you can store it up here if you want to. That wasn't really the bending that I wish you did. Kind of scared me a little bit, but you can technically store it up there. And let's see here, you got some holes in the back here, so you can store it back here, or rotate around, store it back here. You know, you can, any hole can work, but to be honest, it cannot work, okay? None of this works. You do not belong. What is a gun doing on a tiny little boombox that, well, tiny in the Transformers universe, obviously, because these things are huge. I mean, for me, like, this thing is not big enough. It's supposed to be, like, way bigger. Because people back in the 80s used to walk around with a big thing like this on their shoulder and pretend like they were cool. However, they were just looking like idiots, let's be honest here. But yeah, anyway, they're very nice, but the weapon storage isn't really that good, but the rewind storage is pretty good. So then let's get into SAS comparisons, shall we? And we shall obviously start off with Blaster. Look at the two of them together here. Look at them both. Here's what they look like together. Basically just a straight up repaint. Basically just entirely the same outside of, you know, the painting, obviously. Still looking very clean on the back as well. He's got nice handle as well. I do like the fact in a way of the handle being this handle here, because it's just one color. I feel like the red kind of breaks it up here a little bit. Just saying, I'm a fan. I'm a fan, but it's, I don't know. I feel like the one color for the handle works a little bit better. But overall, like I said, they look very nice together. So let's get Blaster out of here, so we can get in some Japanese boys. So here we have Twincast together with the Japanese fellows, and my goodness, does he not scale at all. He doesn't scale at all with the Japanese fellows. There you go. Forgot to rotate that down. I always forget it. I think I might have actually forgotten that in that guy's own review as well, which hopefully actually went up before Twincast, I hope. But yeah, anyway, he looks very nice alongside the Japanese boys as well. So let's get them out of here for the popular ones. Here we have him next to Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, once again being entirely out of scale. Yeah, that's just all I have to say. He looks entirely out of scale. So let's get in the favorite ones of mine. Ironite size weapon, yes! Size comparison looking very, very out of scale. Once again, just, I cannot help it, okay? It looks out of scale, it is out of scale. It just doesn't work, okay? Like I said, this idiot is supposed to be able to go into their buses, but it does not work, sadly enough. So let's get these guys out of here, bring you in closer, and let's get into the reverse transformation. So let's get Twincast transformed into his robot mode, but first let's get the wee lad transformed into robot mode. I've already shown this off, but I'll show it off again for the transformed people. This is for you guys. Even though the rest of the people also get it. But anyway, you want to... I just automatically started. But you basically want to do that to the legs. Then with the arms, you want to rotate them down, rotate them around so that the big hole is to the side. Do the same thing on the other side. Then on the back, you can just come in here, take out the head. And if you have rotated the head around, you can rotate it around. And bam, here we got Rewind in his robotic mode. Now we can get to the casting of the twins. So... what you want to start off with is you want to untap this, and obviously as you can see there's a little gap here on the back that means that this needs to be pushed back in order to be able to untap it. Just do it like this, push it like on this side in order to untap it first. Then you want to push this to the back, tap, pull, you know how this goes. So just tap that into place, do the same thing on the other side. Close this bad boy back up, untap the crotch piece, and then you want to basically just... my dryer is done right now. Anyway, you want to untap the legs here and rotate them all the way around. What you want to do then is you want to take this blue piece at the top here, rotate it down, and then rotate this in. Do the same thing on the other side, so rotate this down and rotate this in. There you go. Then you want to rotate this to the front like so. And then what you want to do is you want to come in here, which actually, now that I think about it, I got Galaxy Shuttle's gun here. You want to untab the feet like so. And this is probably a better way to do it than use a part separator. But there you go. Then what you want to do, obviously, is you want to rotate the chest around like so. Then what you want to do is you want to rotate the arms down and rotate it around. Rotate the hand out as well. There you go, click it into place. So rotate this around, click it into place, rotate the hand around, and then rotate the arm around. I do kind of wish that the hand had a natural stopping point, but whatever. Guess it doesn't have that. I know, Dryer, I know you're done. Open that up, rotate around the head with his smiling face. And then finally, I forgot this one, you want to push in here in order to rotate these pieces here around. And now we have Blaster and his buddy Rewind right here, back into their robotic moods. So here we have Twincast and Rewind together, and what do I think about him? Well, I like him, I will say that, but to be honest, I like the original Blaster. However, I do have some issues. And that issue is very simple. Starting off with the hand here, it has no natural stopping point. It kind of has a stopping point, but it's too easy to just push it back in, so I don't really like that. And this buddy being fully made out of clear plastic, basically, I also don't like that. But outside of that, this guy is fun. However, if you own Blaster, do you need him? No. No. Unless you want Rewind, I would say you kind of skip this guy, to be honest. This guy is more for the Japanese fans, I guess you could say, who grew up with the Japanese show and saw Twincast and now want to own a Twincast. That is basically who this is for. Or me, you know, an idiot. But if you do not have a Blaster and you see this guy on the shelf for like 20 bucks, I would say pick him up. Okay? Pick him up. He's a fun guy, you know, and the mold isn't bad. It's just, you know, is it worth getting again? And I would say personally, no. But overall, I say if you do not have Blaster, this guy is worth it. However, if you don't have Blaster and you see Blaster, Blaster is also worth it. Even if it's just the Studio Series version. But that has been my review of Transformers Legacy Evolution Voyager class Twincast together with Rewind. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that bell and comment your thoughts on this figure. And please check out my Let's Play channel, linked in the description and at the end of the video. I upload 3 videos every day of different games, but mainly Pokemon. And I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye!